The honourable member for the Leader of the Third Party.
Mr. Speaker, this government talks a big game when it comes to making life better for Albertans, but the opposite is true. At the AUMA breakfast this morning, I heard from municipal leaders who are upset that $300 million in the Federal Building Canada Fund money that was to go to municipalities never got there. Withholding the $300 million has meant $900 million in projects didn't get built because it's usually a three-way split between governments. So to the Minister of Infrastructure, given that your infrastructure budget was underspent by more than $1 billion, why did you deny Alberta municipalities this much-needed funding when you didn't even use it?
Why? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Nothing could be further than the truth. As I mentioned in my earlier answer, over $260 million of that federal infrastructure money has already flowed to municipalities. We've asked for more, Mr. Speaker, including the Springbank diversion project that I referred to. Mr. Speaker, this government funds municipalities' infrastructure needs to a much higher level than any other province in this country. And quite frankly, for the members to suggest otherwise is simply to mislead the public, Mr. Speaker.
It's a shame to hear the minister tell municipalities they're wrong, because they're the ones that told me they're not happy.
That's right.
I'm disappointed that despite keeping $300 million in federal funding, the provincial deficit is still going to hit $10.8 billion this year.
Or more.
Further proof that this government can't help itself when it comes to reckless and irresponsible spending. Given that this money did not go to municipalities like it was supposed to, can the minister tell us, what did you spend it on? Please.
Good question. Good question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Conservative opposition would like us to reduce the deficit, but when we try to reduce the deficit, they object. Mr. Speaker, not only did we reduce the deficit by $600 million, but we provided $260 million for municipal projects. Mr. Speaker, this government is making life better for Alberta families. We're spending money on infrastructure to meet the needs for transit, for roads, for housing, for justice facilities and hospitals and other healthcare facilities. This government ignored while it was in office.
Minister should be on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Honourable members. Are we first or second supplemental? Second supplemental.
The minister's reducing the truth. Alberta municipalities depend on stable, predictable funding, which is why the previous government created the MSI program, which provided 10 years of stability. This morning, the Municipal Affairs Minister couldn't tell AUMA mayors what next year's funding is going to be like, 1 year out. And this shows a complete lack of competence on the part of the new minister. Given that Alberta municipalities are struggling with the economic downturn and the NDP carbon tax, to the Minister of Municipal Affairs, when will you finally give some clarity to these municipalities on MSI, or will it even exist next year?
Good question.
Oh. The Honourable Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Well, I appreciate the question from the opposition member, and unlike what they're trying to say, the taps aren't turning off March 31st like they're telling everyone. They're continuing for the next budget cycle. They will have their funding for MSI. And as I said this morning, if the opposition member was actually listening, as I've been doing, to municipalities, that we are going to work collaboratively with them going forward to find something that's sustainable, not a 10-year Band-Aid. Thank you.